All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sidetrack Sunday. Can anyone hear me? 1, 2, 3. Am I live? Fun projects. James. All right. Loud and clear. Very good. Thank you. I have the 3D printer running next to me. Is that too loud? I can just pause this print if that's a problem. I don't know how well you can hear me. So I'll go ahead and get started here. So we have a fun project here with a tea light candle that uses batteries. So this is from Dell Hudson, and he was going to be here, but he actually has to work tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then he'll have to. Can't hear the printer. Okay, good. So he actually has to work tonight, so he cannot be here. So let me move that, go back to that. Okay. So yeah, this is supposed to use batteries, and he wanted to see if I can wire it up with the regular power supply and do that. But before I do that, let me go ahead and welcome everybody here and go to the top of the stream here. So Dundas Model Junction is the first one in here. Stormy Sky Rail Productions. John number 2, Schuylkill River Valley. Grandpa Rails. Great to see you. Thanks for joining. Midsummer Railway End Scale. Chuck Schreiber. Sorry about that. Welcome. Joe Rader, Black Rock Central. Cool. Let me get through here. Mason Dixon, welcome. What's up, Flucking Model Railroaders? Mason Dixon, Model Train Outsider. Grandpa Rails, I said that. Ray Bertelstein, welcome. Life with Roscoe Martin. Life with Roscoe, Model Train. Math Console, welcome. Thomas Crossy. Al Marr. I'm just getting through the list here. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining. If I missed you, sorry about that. We'll catch up to you. So I'm not sure how exciting this will be. Like I said, we'll just see how it goes. I was supposed to go to the Allentown train show yesterday, and I had planned on going. I was waiting for a month or two. I was excited about going, and it turned out I have another YouTube channel that I manage. It's for the church, actually, and there was a memorial service for someone yesterday, and they called me, Friday afternoon. They asked me if I could be there to put this memorial service on the YouTube channel. So I had to miss the Allentown show. So it was worth it. There were a lot of people there, and there were a lot of people that were very thankful that I was able to put that up on YouTube for them. There was a lot of family from out of town. So, that's where I was yesterday. We missed you. Hang on, let me get my mouse back there. Thomas Cross, yeah, you said you're going to be there. Yeah, you sent me a text, and I was looking forward to it. So I'm not sure when the next one will be. Maybe I guess since I missed that one, then the Amherst, maybe I will make more of an effort to get to Amherst. So let me see if I can get this in just a little bit further. Sorry about that. There you go. Is it this? No, it's this here that's causing the glare. All right. Well, I'll just show you. So it's a LED flickering flame tea light candle. Yeah. So I'll show you what this is about here and what it does. Okay. And we turn that on. Let's see. There's this button on here that says timer. So I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe it'll shut off after a while. I don't know. You can see. You might just see, bright light. It's kind of going up that way. So that's how that works and what it is. Okay. Yes, hopefully it does, Martin. Okay, let me turn this off. And then we're going to take this apart and see what's in here. And I don't know what's going to happen. Okay. Am I going to break it? Very good chance I'm going to break something, because actually this is all glued down here. Is it? Yeah, that's all one piece here. I mean, I really don't know what I'm doing here, and I hope I don't ruin this for Dell. Okay, we just broke it. Nope. Oh, that's just glue. That's not a wire. Good, good. Okay, so what's in here is this tiny little circuit board right there. And then, so it had 3 AAA batteries in there. And so that's 4.5 volts. So basically we need to get 4.5 volts to this. That says B plus and that says B minus. So let's find a screwdriver. Let's see what's in there. Well, I'll tell you what, if there's a memorial service for me and you guys go to the train show instead, I mean, that'd be kind of okay. I mean, as long as you think about me. but yeah, like I said, they were very thankful that I was able to do that. So that's cool. And I'm still hanging on to a little bit of a cold. So if I have to stop, thanks, John. So if I have to stop and blow my nose, I apologize. Wire cutters. There we go. These red things here. Well, hopefully we're going to see train show haul for many of you. Did you guys get anything good? Okay, so this here, I think we're just going to delete. What's the best way to delete that? Scissors. Because this is some very thin plastic. Yes, Roscoe, you're absolutely right. Oh, keep it in the camera. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, throw that out. Pay attention. Pay attention. I don't know if we can take this apart any further. Let's see if we could do that. Like I said, this might be a really quick project. I don't know. Okay. I think what I need to do, well, I don't know if you guys can see that. The solder on here is terrible. There's like these little balls of cold solder on there. I'm going to have to put some different wires on here. Pliers, here we go. Yes, Bob, how we doing there? Did he join us? Well, I'm glad you made it, Bob. So when I strip wires, I don't know how you guys do it. I do it with 2 hands here with a pair of pliers. And I use these things, which when I was in tech school, they said these are wire cutters. Don't ever use these for wire strippers. But if you're careful, you can use them for wire strippers. And what I do is I just kind of hug the insulation there and then pull it. So I'm actually more like pulling the wire off of there and getting that. Happy early birthday. Uh-oh, he figured me out. Yes, my birthday is on Wednesday. Thank you. Got it. Oh, okay. I missed this one. Yeah. Okay. Getting online at the hospital. Okay. Well, you're still at the hospital and you're being taken care of. So that's good. So Martin got GG1 and 8 cars. Is that Flyer or usually buy a bunch of American Flyer? And John number 2 got a piece of O scale track. Okay, just one piece. All right. So my 3D print quit on me. All right, the print ended, so that's good. Overnight for observation. Okay, yeah. Well, that's always good. You know, I was in the hospital, I guess, a year ago, September, and when I went in, I just said, whatever, it's up to you guys. I mean, I'm not going to hurry up to run out the door. You know, if you guys think you can help me, then fine. So I need to hook up this to 4.5 volts, basically. Uh-oh. Pull everything out of the drawer and make a mess. That's cool. Got some wire here. Thomas Grassi picked up 3 HO oil tank cars. $12 for all 3. Hey, now that's a bargain. That's a bargain. There you go. I'm proud of you. Are you asking me? I don't know. We'll see. That's later in the week. We'll see how that gets there. See what happens then. Okay, so need to find a couple pieces of this wire here. So yeah, what are you wanting to do is power this up with the power supply from his O gauge. So it's going to be like AC. Okay, Martin, it's possible. That's 3 or 4 days away. So, so what we're going to use here, this is what's called a buck converter, and you can input AC or DC. It doesn't really matter, and then you get a DC output. So these are really handy, well, especially for the Lionel stuff that has AC transformers, and if you want to put these in like a car that has power, and you want some DC power, so then it'll also work on that. Okay. These wires in here are just a tiny bit too long. So let me trim that. And where's my outputs? Okay, so we don't want to wire this part backwards. So how was the crowd there at Allentown? A lot of people, or I guess that show always starts off. I'm never in a hurry to get there because if you're there at like 9 o'clock in the morning, there are people everywhere and you're running into them. And yeah, you really can't move until 10, 11 o'clock anyhow. So I usually not in a hurry to get there. You're very crowded. Okay, Thomas. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I mean, I think it's a terrific show. I really think that Allentown is like one of the top shows there because it's big. It's got a lot of space, a lot of people from different places. All right. Oh, so I'm using these little clips here. and you squeeze them, and you put a wire in there, and it kind of grips on that. Okay. So these, oh boy, these wires are so thin, they're barely hanging on there. Yeah, I'm pushing that in there, and it's barely holding on. Well, let's see if we can get this to work first of all, and then what I'm going to do is solder on some better wires onto that. Okay. Yeah, see, that's not even staying in there. Okay, managed to keep that in the camera. So then we need an input here. And like I said, you can use AC or DC. Since Dell wants to do this with his Lionel transformer, we will go ahead and use a, O-gauge. It's a Lionel dangerous power supply here. And we'll hook this up, see if we can start a fire. Something like that. Oh, come on. There we go. Dundas model junction. Okay. All right. So we'll take this and put these wires on the input. So yeah. So it doesn't matter what your inputs are. So it's got a bridge rectifier on here. So even if you're going from like 20 volts DC and you want to get 20 volts down to 5 or something, you can do that, even if it's DC. And it doesn't really matter which way you put these wires on the input. So, still get positive and negative out. Need to plug this in. Dell is a bit nuts. Dell comes up with some crazy, well, not crazy, but some different ideas. Puts lights on things and stuff like that. His box cars. No, wait a minute. What happened here? I don't know how that happened. The mouse. I'm dead to Dell. Why are you dead to Dell? That doesn't sound good, Roscoe. All right. What I'm going to do is, first of all, get my power supply here. And did I turn this on? Why am I not getting an output here? Uh-oh. Where's my little tweaker here? That's 20 volts, right? Hope I didn't put the wrong wires on something. I am getting nothing on this power supply. That's a positive. That's the AC in. Unless we destroyed that. Well, let's check out our transformer here. Nothing. Okay. I unplugged the extension cord. Okay. Just a minute. Okay. What are we doing here? We're going to check our output on here. Okay. All right. This is interesting. So I'm changing the input on the power supply here, and you can see the output is not changing. So that's good to know. So basically, we can set that output to whatever we want, and it should stay. So we want like 4.5 volts on this. All right. Keep going. We'll go to like 4.6 just for the fun of it. Whoops. What happened? Wow. Okay. I may have reached the limits of this. I mean the buck converter and how much you can adjust it. Storage track, one indication track is on. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. He likes that blue color. He's very, very happy with that blue color. All right, so this is the part where these wires are coming apart there. Let's see. Oh, we got to turn it on. Okay, so the light is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing. However, this is nearly impossible to work with because these wires here are so thin and fragile and they're just falling apart. So I'm going to have to go ahead and solder some longer wires on here. Let's see what I can find in my drawer for wires. And plug in a power supply. Or a soldering iron thing. Let's see if we can find some wire in the wire drawer. There's a piece of red. Let's see if we have a piece of black. A little bit longer than that would be nice. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's a couple nice pieces of wire. Because I'm not sure where he wants to put this, like how much of a lead he needs on it. You know, I don't know if he wants a foot or 2 feet. I mean, I guess I'll leave this long enough. That makes it easy to attach another wire to it. And we'll wait until that heats up. So what we're doing here is we're going to put some longer wires and some wires that are easier to hold on to because these wires are like super thin here. We'll use these 2 pieces and we'll get rid of the rest of this here. Let me get down to my chat here. Georgia Sunbelt's in the house. All right, welcome. Longer is better. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, and I must have used these for something because they're both about the same length. So that's good. And again, I got to remember to keep this in the camera. Sorry about that, folks. Hopefully we will get that. I keep meaning to order one of those USB powered soldering irons. I think Thomas has one of those. I think somebody does. Somebody did a video on it. I keep meaning to order one. I have that for all my sidings, which a bumper stop LED and a bumper stop gets soldered to the track rails. Oh, that's pretty cool. So you have a bumper on your track, and when the train hits the bumper, it lights up. That's pretty cool. I was thinking about doing that. And Thomas says he does, in fact, have a USB powered soldering iron. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. Very good. All right. A little bit of solder here. See if we do this without. It's almost hot enough. It's just barely hot enough. There we go. So we first tin the ends, and For crying out loud. All right, got a little bit on there. What was I going to say? Flux. I know everybody says you have to use flux, and you do need flux. However, I get solder that has a resin core, a rosin core, so it's actually got flux in the middle of this here. So, so I don't necessarily need flux. Catch up with those comments in just a second. I don't want to burn myself here. All right, get that out of the way. Of course, you have to be careful that you don't set your soldering iron on something and cause a fire. Let's say I should probably have a soldering iron holder, but I'd probably knock that on the floor anyhow, so we just kind of leave it right there. What I'm going to do is get the solder sucker and get that blob of cold solder off of there. The solder sucker. I think most people know what they are. Wonder bar. Put just a drop of good solder on here. There we go. Okay. Never heard of a solder sucker before? Matt, they are very handy. Yeah, it's for removing solder. Push that in and you see there's a tiny little metal pin that comes out, and then it goes back in, and then when you press the button here, there's a spring in there and it pulls it in. I can show you the inside of this real quick. I don't know why, but yeah, there's just a spring in there, and that's what's inside there. So it removes solder. You have to push it down. So what I'm doing is removing this old solder here. Putting some fresh on there. Come on, baby. I need 3 hands here. There we go. It took most of that off, so that's cool. I got a piece of red wire around here. I had a piece of red wire. Is this the piece? Nope, that's not the piece I already tinned. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm sure it's on the floor, right? Straight up lost a piece of wire. Don't hit the keyboard. How did I lose that? All right. I don't know what happened to that other piece. I guess I can use this piece of red wire. That'll work. Still red wire, but Deep Run Railroad. Is it new? Blue tack. I'm not sure what blue tack is. I have a small vise behind me on the floor, and when I have too much troubles, I do use the vise. But actually probably kind of be in the way right now. So sometimes that little vise is helpful, and sometimes it is gets in the way. All right. Charge Dell $200. Well, Dell did give me something for doing his the operating box car. He gave me, and he's got another one here. The I guess the other one was the Coors Light car. It had the of course the Coors Light in it, and then he gave me another one that does Maine potatoes. So they're supposed to have little crates of potatoes that go in there. Okay, so here we have a light that goes there. I was trying to figure out what to do with this here. Oh, okay. So that's, I'm sorry. What did you call this stuff? Blue tack. Okay, blue tack. You know what? I have a stack of note cards here. And what I do is when I'm doing a live stream, when I'm watching one or doing one, I take notes. So blue tack, and I'll look that up later. Of course, I still have on a notepad over there, it says USB soldering iron, so I remember to order one. Okay. So now we have something that we can actually hold on to here, and these wires are not going to run away on us. I'm sorry, guys, I don't have PowerPoint slides for you today. So then there is a switch here on the bottom, right? Or did we turn this off? We turn that off. There we go. Well, I can do one of two things. I can either take this switch out and run wires to that, or leave that alone and run that to a switch. What I had in mind here is something like this. And then if I was to run that to a switch, or, you know, run one of these wires to a switch. Let me show you something here. This is what was printing on a 3D printer. Get this off. And what I did, I made a box for a switch. So I don't know if he wants to use that or not, but you can. So there's the little switch, and that can snap in there if I designed this properly. How about that, huh? I should have soldered wires on it first, but yeah. And then this, I designed this. This is a momentary thing, a momentary switch. So what I did is I just took the design for this and started over, and basically it's the same size box. It's the exact same box, except for it has a different cutout for that switch. Except for the problem is I had a failure like 2 weeks ago. I lost all my, well, not all, but I lost, well, I did. I lost all my CAD prints, and fortunately I had most of it backed up, but I guess basically everything that I printed since like August or something like that was lost. What am I missing here? Whoa, it's hot. Hello, Matt. Oh, okay. That's the Matt console. Down, South Down. Okay. Is that a new name or someone just changed their name? South Down? Okay. Let me get back to that. Daily backup. Yeah, I was telling the Sidetrack Sunday crew, I like to brag because I'm really good at backing stuff up, and I am really good at it. And I recently had computer problems. In other words, I had to get a new computer, and just like I said, I was doing pretty good, but everything that I created in TurboCAD since August was gone. So that comes to like, I don't know, somewhere between a dozen and 20 designs, but not the worst thing. So like I was saying, I made this base here to fit this box, and this box is the same as that. So that will fit on there. So this base here is one of the things that I have to redesign. So that goes on there, and I designed this with 2 holes in it so you can mount it anywhere. And there's 2 holes in the middle that mount to this right here and here. So that will work for an option. Let me get a drink of water here. Oh, Randall Ellison. That's not good. Never had that problem, but that doesn't sound good. Papa John got himself a Varney, New Hampshire Switzer. Very cool. Very cool. Let me see if there's anything else I missed here. Windows 11, that's your problem. Yeah. Well, I don't really mind it. I went ahead. You download the. I don't know if anybody's had to do this recently. You can download the Windows 10 from Microsoft, the media package, I guess they call it, and install it. And then there's Gamers Outlet. I think I paid $7 for a Microsoft Windows 10 or Windows 11 license to put in there, and that worked. So I mean, it worked. And basically, at this point, I mean, in case anybody doesn't know, I don't know. So you download Windows 10, and then if your computer is able to run Windows 11, it will automatically update and install Windows 11 for you. So that worked out good on this computer. And I have a laptop over there, which is what I was using until this one crashed. And then the laptop's still sitting there. So let me turn this printer off because the fan is still running. I don't know if I can use that or not. All right. So I'm at a point here. I'm not sure what to do with this now. Trying to think of, like, I guess he still wants this on the top of it. And then I have the situation here with the switch. I guess, in other words, he would have it so that he can still get to that switch. I don't know. And I can certainly run these wires. There's no harm if I was to take these 2 wires that run to the LED and like make them a foot long, and then you put the switch somewhere else. I wish he was here. I don't know if I can do anything more with this. Anybody have any ideas? Mike Jordan's here. How you doing, Mike? Welcome. So, yeah, well, since you're here, Mike, what I was doing was I took this LED light that was in a package, just cut it out, and then I extended some wires on this, and I have it so that it operates off of AC power using this. So that's fine. What time is it? It is 8:40. I'm not sure what else to do with this. I guess this is a project for another day. I'll have to get with Dell, see what he wants to do, how he wants to mount this. In other words, I can design like a little. Now you know what, we could do that real quick. Um, let me see, about 2 inches. Let me get one of the measuring things here. See what we can do with that. So if I was to make like a little circle about 2 inches in diameter, and it would have to have a hole in the middle that was about a half an inch, right? We'll do something funny. So I said 2 inches. They'll know nothing. You're still mad about his Biden blue car. All right, let me cancel that. We got that up. Let's see. Can I share screen here? Share screen. Share screen. Select the window. Monitor 2. Allow. Oh, add it to the stage. Boom. All right. We could do this real quick. Now so this is TurboCAD. This is what I'm using. Darn it, I'm going to need my keyboard for this. What happened here? Two, enter. Okay, so I made a 2-inch line. I have to put my keyboard on the side here. And then we're going to draw a circle. Boom, there's a circle. And we said a 1/2 inch circle in the middle. Keyboard again. 0.5. Huh. That's it. Oh, that's a radius of 0.5. That's not what I want. Tab. Diameter 0.5. Yeah, there you go. Good, good, good. Okay, so we have two circles. View, 3D views, and then we will extrude that. Go up there. All right, we're just going to need to have this handy. Okay. And then, let's see, make that, extrude that to tab 0.5, or no, 0.1. Enter. And then what I'm going to do, so we're going to go to the top, do a line from here to there. So what you see here, if you can see that all right, when you do this in TurboCAD, it makes, instead of making a circle or a cylinder, it makes it like a polygon. It's like a 12-sided polygon or something. So you've got to take that, go to properties. So in case none of you use CAD, so this is just a quick tutorial on that kind of properties. So what we're going to do is smooth that out so that it's a smooth circle. Okay. So then we have this, and then what I'm going to do is do a 3D subtract. Go down here, we take this, and then we move the center. So then go to here, boop, and there's a circle. I'm doing a little bit of CAD, Bob. So this is just to give you an idea here of back to visual styles. Let's see. How much space do I need on the bottom of that? That's actually going to need a little bit more. We can do this. We're going to make that like 0.3. 0.4, 0.35. How about that? How am I going to do this? That's already 0.1. So if we go 0.45, so we're going to do, don't worry, I'm not going to spend forever on this, but tab, make that 0.45 like that. And then we go back to that and make line from here to there. And then let's see, I made a circle that was 2 inches. So we need to make this 1.8 like that. Oh, 1.8 diameter. Okay, there we go. So what I also need to do before I do anything else is take this, make that actually round like that. Okay. Uh-oh, I'm going to have to do this part again. 3D add. So I'm going to add TC surface to this. I should have just made this all one big piece. Yeah, see what it did? So now it filled in that circle. So we're going to have to cut that center out again. But first thing we're going to do is take this part here and go down. We say minus 0.35. What happened here? Minus 0.35. Enter. There you go. See, so there's like a circle within a circle. Watch, you'll see when I get to this here. So we got to also smooth out the corners on that. 90. Okay. So then you have a circle within a circle or a cylinder within a cylinder. So we are going to subtract the little one from the big one. And simple extrude. That's gone. And then we actually accidentally filled in the center here. So we need to take out that center again like we did before. Circle. Doesn't matter. Well, as long as it's 1/10 of an inch, then that's okay. And again, we'll make this smooth. Properties. 90. Smooth. Okay. And then again, we'll subtract that circle, that little inside circle from the rest of it here like that. View, visual styles, draft render, boop. There. How's that? Sorry, I'm ignoring the chat here. I'll get back to you in just a second there. So then that's basically what you get there is like a little thing to mount the LED on, or the campfire, I guess. I don't know. How's that? Go back to wireframe. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's certain things that, you know, you just need a little part, you know, like I was making those boxes for the switches and so forth. James, you don't need to know what Dave is doing. James, if I can do it, you can. Easier than you think, James. Mike Jordan, make sure you're on like all the chat. There might just be showing like top chat or something like that. You don't think you will venture into 3D printing? You met Ducky. If you understand CAD, it's not that bad at all. I mean, I guess you basically have to understand the CAD concepts and how to do things. And, you know, you're drawing things as a reference to something else. and you get to figure where your baseline is and so forth, and just your basic tools and stuff. Expert, I would say I'm an expert in TurboCAD. Is that a downloaded version? Yes and no, Tom. I did download this, but then if you want to keep it, then you have to buy the license. And I did, in fact, buy a license for it. And I've had this for quite a long time, probably at least 10 years. And I probably paid $100 or $150 for a license for this. So if you look up TurboCAD, you can download a trial version. I think it's good for 30 days or 90 days. So you could download a trial version. It works just fine. And then if you want to keep it, then you have to buy a license. I guess nowadays the license is probably a couple $100. But if if you just need it to print a couple of things or draw a couple of things, you can download it, use it for 30 days, and then put it on a different computer and use it for 30 days, and then you go back and reinstall Windows on that computer, or whatever you want to do, however you want to be cheap about it. So basically that's a little design that we made for that candle, for that the campfire. So what I'm going to do then, so that's a TCW file, a TurboCAD file. So we're going to go here to save as, and we're going to save it as what am I saving it as? An STL, stereolithograph. So we're going to save that as a, wait a minute. I got to save this first here. File, save as Flickrlight. All right, say that. I should just save it as Dell's Dell's file. And then, okay, so we saved it, and we're going to save it again as a STL. Save. And then what I do is I go back and I delete all the lines in here, because you don't want all those CAD lines in your STL file. It slows things down. So you got one more line there. Circle, delete. Okay. And now we'll save it again. Okay. So that's that little file. So what we're going to do, I didn't really plan on this, but this is a good tutorial. So this is called Creality Print. This is what I use. This is what's called a slicer program. And this is how you create a 3D file, or how you create a file to 3D print. So you go to open file, and we want to go to drawings. Drawings 2, there we go, Flickrlight STL. And then I don't know if any of you have experienced this, so I drew this in inches, but the build plate measures in millimeters, so that is 2 millimeters big. So what we have to do is get our calculator here and go 2 times 25.4, like that, and that's 50.8. I guess if I was paying attention, I could have just gone ahead and did that. So then there's your print. Let me see. Okay. So again, then we go to the build here, build plate adhesion. We got a brim, infill. That's on 50. I really don't need 50. 25, I think, is more than enough. And shell, 2 layers, quality, 0.2, speed, 300 millimeters a second. And then press the button down here on the bottom right-hand corner. It says slice. And then over here in the top right, it says that's 19 minutes to print. And then we export to local. And we want this to go into our 3D printer file, our 3D printer folder, Creality. And we'll just call this Flickrlight. And it tells you when it slices that. So that should be a 19-minute print. Save. Okay. And then for some reason, it always opens up this stupid folder. I guess you're not seeing that. That's on the other screen. Oh, okay. Now, Elgato Saturn IV Ultralight right now. Well, that sounds like an aircraft or something. Good grief, man. Yeah, I guess if Black Friday's coming up, oh, there's got to be some monster sales on printers now. Wow. Yeah, I guess now would be the time. I'm on that at the moment there. What's this? I had more mounts done for my push buttons. Show you tomorrow. Only cost me 12 bucks. Okay. Someone is a thing there. Yeah, well, it's one of those hobbies. You get into it, and there's just mountains of stuff that you can do. Okay, let me move that. All right, so that's the thing there that I made, and that's going to have to go to the 3D printer over there, and that's a 20-minute print, so that's not going to get done. There. All right, so to get into this flicker light here, or this campfire thing, wasn't that big of a deal. Pretty quick project, as far as I can do. I'll have to talk to Dell and see, how he wants to mount it or what he wants to do with it. But bada bing, bada bang, that's that. And we are about 9 o'clock. So I was going to get into, you know what, let me take this off the bench before I break something or short something out. I'm going to disconnect this power supply here. So those of you who are interested, I have been working on that incline project, and I thought I was about finished with it, and I am having problems with it. Driving me nuts. Hold on there. Yeah, the pirate that got the steering wheel caught somewhere. He's got his pants cut on the steering wheel. He says, it's driving me nuts. That was a joke. All right, let me get that out of the way. So here's the button. I'll have to talk to Dell, see what he wants to do. Let me get this cleaned up. Yeah, I wasn't sure how far that was going to go. What I was going to do, if I had too much time, I was going to take this apart. This is a Tyco. Yeah, the incline project. Well, I'll tell you what the problem with that is. So you have to have power for the Arduino and the relays in there, and then you have to have power to actually run a small DC motor. And for some reason, like there's a ground loop or something like that. So once I start to run the motor, then it causes a problem with the relays, and they start to short out, and then it stops. So if I was to use two separate power supplies, one for the motor and then one for the Arduino and the relays, it works just fine. And I hooked it up and I tested it with two separate power supplies, and it works just fine. So I have to figure out what to do with that. I may end up just having to make a box that I can plug two power supplies in it. So, yeah, a little flicker light. I mean, the other option, of course, Scott Rails did a video using like a red, a yellow, and I think an orange LED. You clump them together, and you can buy flickering LEDs. And if you go to the dollar store, you get little flickering. I probably have one there. The little tea lights that are flickering, and you can wire up those jimmies to a 5 or 12 volt power supply and use that. So that's another way to do it. Yeah, another thing, I was going to take apart this here because this is one of those tender drives that I paid $1 for, and I just thought we'd take that apart and see how that works, see what's in there. But I guess we don't have that much time. Did I? Yeah, we're still on there. Okay. Any train shows coming up? Since I missed Allentown, there is usually a Greenberg train show at Oaks in January or December. I don't know. Maybe that's what I was trying to do, Thomas. Trying to like isolate the DC because I have 12 volts coming in, and I use that for the relays, and then 12 volts for the motor. And I have a motor controller, and you would think that the motor controller would isolate it. I also tried one of these here buck converters, just like this, to isolate it, and somehow it's still causing a conflict with it. So I don't know. Yeah. So basically, Thomas, I guess I'll try one more time with something. I have one or two other ideas. But if not, I'll have to make a box that uses 2 power supplies. OKC. What's OKC? Oklahoma City? Oh, wait, where'd it go? OKC this weekend? What's OKC? All right, Matt Console and Mike. Very good. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to look around. Where's that place like in central Pennsylvania? South Hanover? Was there a Hanover layout or something? Something like that. So maybe instead of going to train shows, I'll just look for Christmas displays soon and do that. So, all right, folks. Well, sorry I missed Allentown. And thank you all so much for joining for this little project here of how to wire up a little flicker light. It was fun. And hopefully I'll see you all around at a train show or another meet and greet soon enough. And with that, thank you all so much for joining, and we'll see you next time. Peace.